Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Founding Partners press conference for the 2024 Asia Pacific Amateur Championship. My name is Mike Woodcock, and I'll be hosting the press conference this morning. I'm also joined by Emmy, who will assist with any Japanese translation that we need to do. I'll begin this morning by introducing our panel. To my immediate right is Mr. Martin Slumbers, the CEO of the R&A. In the center is Mr. Taimur Hassan Amin, the chairman of the Asia Pacific Golf Confederation. On the far right-hand side is Mr. Fred Ridley, chairman of the Masters Tournament. We'll have time for questions shortly, but we'll begin by asking Mr. Hassan Amin to give a short introduction.
Thank you, Mike. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the 2024 Asia Pacific Amateur Championship. We are grateful for the coverage you provide for this elite championship and the growth you have helped to spur around the world in the game of golf. We in the Asia Pacific APGC are always thankful to partners with two of the leaders of the global game in putting on this championship. It is amazing to consider that we are now in the midst of the 15th anniversary of the Asia Pacific Amateur, much of which is credited to the vision of the leaders of the Masters Tournament and the R&A. This has become one of the top amateur events in the world, and I would like to thank my friends from the Masters Tournament and the R&A for their continued dedication to this event. With it being the 15th anniversary, I have found myself reflecting back on the success of stories of this championship. Not just the stories of Hideki Matsuyama or Cameron Smith, but of those countries who have grown from humble golf beginnings 15 years ago to making the cut and even competing to win in recent years. As for those that will be in contention later this week, the life-changing rewards that are available to the champion are dreams that cannot be quantified. The standards have been raised for players in our region and continue to improve every single year. This week, the beautiful Taiheiyo Club Gotemba will host a formidable test for the players, and I thank President Chang Hung and all the Taiheiyo Club Gotemba for their hospitality. I speak for the group when I say we cannot wait to watch the action unfold and history made over the next 4 days. The collective goal of the founding partners is to help develop the game and inspire great participation throughout the region. As we sit here today, we are confident that the future of the sport has never been stronger in the Asia Pacific region. Finally, it is with great enthusiasm that we would like to announce the host of the 2025 Asia Pacific Championship next year. We will head to Dubai at the Emirates Golf Club Majlis course. We are confident that General Abdullah Al Hashmi, Vice Chairman of the Emirates Golf Federation and the APGC board member, who is here with us, will help us to deliver a memorable championship next year. I would like to thank you all again for being here at this time, and I turn the mic over to Mike for some questions. Before we go to that, Chairman Ridley, would you like to give them an overview of?
Well, thank you, Taimur. It's great to be here with you and Martin and everyone, all of you, to celebrate the 15th anniversary of the Asia Pacific Amateur Championship. And we certainly appreciate everyone from the media being here to cover this event at this great venue here in Japan. I wanted just to mention before we started the press conference today that several of our key people are not here this year, and they stayed behind in Augusta to really care for our employees and the community of Augusta as they recover from what was really a very catastrophic weather event, a hurricane that came through Augusta and many other areas in the southeast last Thursday night, Friday morning. Really much of eastern Georgia, many parts of Florida along the coast, and then also in western Carolina, around Asheville, were really devastated, something that I've really never seen in my lifetime. And so we're busy in Augusta. I was there the last couple of days before. I was a couple of days late coming here, and we're in a recovery mode. We're really focusing on our employees and our neighbors, business owners in Augusta, to try to help get everybody back on their feet. And we've been without power, water, and other essentials for a number of days. So it really does impress upon you what can happen when there's a natural disaster such as that. But I want to thank, many people who I've spoken to since I've been here the last day that have expressed their concern, and we'll be back. It'll take some time, but I thank all of you for your concern and thoughts. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Ridley, and our thoughts are with all those affected, obviously, of a terrible situation there. So we'll now open the press conference, and if you'd like to raise your hand, we'll get a microphone to you. Evan, we'll start with you in the centre. If we can get a microphone there.
Good morning, gentlemen, and thanks for your time. It's a question for Fred. Can you just give us a bit of an update? I know there are more important things than golf at the moment, and the golf course in Augusta, the people are suffering, but is there any kind of update you could shed on the golf course and whether that affects any golf schedules going forward?
Well, that's to be determined. We've had literally dozens of people working at the club, and what I've really been most proud of is while everyone certainly is focused on getting us up back and running, our employees have been so focused on the community at large. We've been able to take care of our employees, but we've also been focused on what the Red Cross and other organizations are doing at Augusta, and our employees really have been a big part of that, and which I think really speaks for them and the culture at the club. As far as the golf course, it really was affected just as the rest of the community was. There was a lot of damage, and we have a lot of people working hard to get us back up and running. We don't really know exactly what that's going to mean, but I can tell you, if it's humanly possible, we'll be back in business sooner rather than later.
Thank you.
Next question in the front here, if we can get the microphone to Nick, please.
Yes, Nick Tarrant from Dubai. Taimur, you hosted the 2021 Asia Pacific Amateur Championship at Dubai Creek at the UAE. You're now going back to the UAE. It's unusual to go back to countries so soon. Is there a reason that many people in the room won't realize Taimur Hassan is the former winner of the Emirates Amateur Open in the early 90s, correct, Taimur?
That's right.
The club has a rich history of Dubai Desert Classics, many famous tournaments, but are you looking forward to coming to Dubai and one of your favorite courses?
Well, I think the Majlis course is a beautiful golf course, and I'm sure it's improved since. I haven't played there for a while, but I did win the Emirates Golf, the Amateur Championship there. I think we're delighted to go back, and I think it's a testimony to one of our board members, the General himself, who's made a hell of an effort to get everybody, get golf going in Dubai, especially junior golf, ladies golf. And I can see they participate in all our tournaments, all our events, and they're doing much better now than they used to. So going back to Dubai would be absolutely delightful for all of us. It's a great venue, and it'll do justice to this tournament. And the golf course and all the facilities that are available in Dubai now are as good as any in the world. So I think we'll really enjoy that venue. Would you like to say something?
Maybe I should just add
Please.
that let's not forget 21. We were,
Yes.
the whole world was recovering from the pandemic, and I think we all three of us are very grateful for the efforts that the Dubai made to be able to stage it in 21. And I think this is a very fitting thank you for being able to allow the young men to play that year when arguably they were not going to be able to.
Okay, next question. Jonathan at the front, please.
Morning, gentlemen. Jonathan from Malaysia. So it's been an incredible 15 years since the first AAC. Perhaps could you your thoughts on how golf has grown in Asia, not just from a playing perspective, but also from the growth of the game at the grassroots in the last decade and a half. Thank you.
One nice start. I mean, we always come back to the fundamental reason for why we have this championship, which is to create opportunities for the best players to show us how good they are, and B, to give them a pathway through to the next level and be able to test themselves about how good they are. The thinking always was that if that was successful, then the bottom half of the field will realize that their opportunities can be gained by improving their own performance, and therefore would get better. And 15 years later, that's absolutely proven true. The bottom half of the field is a lot better than it was 15 years ago. But there's a lot goes on behind the scenes rather than just this 1 week in that regard. And one of the things I think the three of us are most proud of is the work that we've done in creating the AAC academies, where we focus on the countries that don't have all the resources that some of the bigger countries do have to generate talent. And we first ran that in 2019 in Singapore, where I think we had 10 individuals. The last year we've had 30. We had 8 players last year made the cut who came through the academy that arguably may not have been able to achieve that even though they had the talent. And as I look at the leaderboard at the moment, the leader is also a gentleman who's come through the academy. So I think all of that has built on the championship and built on the importance of the championship, and I think it's something that the three of us are very proud of.
Okay, next question, just the gentleman there, please.
タイマー会長にお伺いしますけれども、15年前にアジア太平洋のゴルフの普及のために始められたということなんですけれども、15年経って当時と比べて参加国とか、あとゴルフ人口とかは増えましたか?
Sorry. So this AAC is 15th anniversary. So compared to 15 years ago, do you think the countries that participate in the AAC and the golf population are improving since then?
Well, I think there certainly is evidence of that. When you look at as Martin was mentioning, when you look at the strength of the fields, the number of players that are now ranked in the World Amateur rankings as compared to when we started. My observation, and I've been to all but I think one or two of the AACs in the last 15 years, there were very few players at the beginning who really had an opportunity to win. And whereas now we have many players who can win. We had a player last year from Vietnam who I believe finished in the top 10, finished 8th, and that would have never happened in 2009 when we started. So I think really the evidence is building, and I think as Martin mentioned again, with the academies, which we started in 2019 with one academy in Singapore that had 12 players. We had 3 academies last year that served 30 players, and that's really beginning to make a difference. So I think we're seeing that, and we just think this momentum will continue to grow.
出場選手をご覧いただければ、15年前よりは強い選手はアマチュアランキングの上位の選手が出場していると思いますが、私の見解としては、15年前に、勝てると思っていた選手よりも今の方が勝てる選手の可能性が高くなっている気がします。ベトナムの選手が、去年8位に入ったり、こんなことは、昔は起きなかったことですので、アカデミーとして AAC アカデミーが2019年に始まって以来、こういったゴルフの人口が少ない国の選手でも勝つことができるようになってきているということで、これが確実に AAC というイベントがその強い選手を輩出するきっかけになっていると思います。
So next question, I think we have a question from Swami at the front, please.
Chairman, thank you so much for the update on Augusta. We people are always obsessed by golf. So the first thing when we hear about something about Augusta, golf is so on top of the mind. But thank you for the update about the community. We read your statement too in the media. So hopefully Masters will be back as usual. The Masters has the ANWA, and it's also, had a kind of a path-breaking event like the DCP. Now, what else could there be in store? You also got continental championships along with the RNA across the globe, which has been a massive, kind of a step for the juniors. Is there anything else that the Masters can bring us to bear?
Well, I think anything's possible. I thought when I became chairman in 2017, I felt like that there was one really significant segment of the golfing population that really wasn't being served by Augusta National, and that was women's golf. And so we were very pleased to be able to start the Augusta National Women's Amateur, as you mentioned. But we really don't have any specific plans at the moment. However, we do know there are going to be other opportunities. And one of the great things about the wonderful relationship that I've had with my good friend Martin is that he's always thinking about new ideas. And by the way, we're going to miss Martin as he retires. But I think the RNA is going to be in great hands with his leadership coming in. But we're always talking about other possibilities. We have a limited season at Augusta National, and so that somewhat constrains us from what we can do at the club. However, we do want to use our resources to continue to grow the game, and we are open to just about any idea to do that. And that's the great thing about these partnerships with the RNA, and then back home with the USGA, and here with the Asia Pacific Golf Confederation, is there's really no shortage of ideas, and we're all ears, and we'll definitely be doing something. I feel confident.
Thank you, Chairman. Actually, I wanted to ask Mr. Slumbers, but is there any progress on the golf course that you were going to be helping out in Augusta? The public course.
Oh, you're talking about what we affectionately refer to as the patch.
The patch. Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
Right. No, that's really a project that we're very excited about, and we really are looking at Augusta sort of as an incubator of sorts. Right in our backyard, where we can take a very fine public facility and really upgrade it, provide opportunities for the public and particularly youth to play. This is another collaboration. I mean, we always do better when we work with other people, and that's why this event has been so successful, I think. But this is a collaboration. We are right next to the first tee in Augusta, and we have some other plans that are pretty exciting with regard to that project, but I just can't tell you right now. But I'm confident, back to one of the first questions, that the Masters will be held. It'll be held on the dates that it's scheduled to be held. And I think we have a few announcements to make with respect to that project. So
thank you so
much.
Stay
tuned.
We'll look forward to that press conference.
Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Slumbers, Chairman, has already said that he's going to miss you, so are we. We've kind of gotten used to you here, and not just for the Asia Pacific Amateur, but also for the WAP. Your 9 years or 10 years have been excellent. I mean, and I'm sure you're not going to retire. You're still going to be with golf. How would you describe your tenure here, and especially for these youth championships, the championships for the amateurs, etc.? How would you see them?
I think I would definitely miss it. I mean, I've kind of enjoyed my last 10 years, I think if I look back, if I'm really honest, it was an opportunity that I never ever thought would. Actually, I didn't even think about it, and so to have been able to do what we've done over the last 10 years has been great. But I think the one thing that I really found in myself was that I did have a deep down passion for A, the sport, which I love, but B, for growing the sport. And I never knew I had that, and it's been a real pleasure to actually be able to do it. And I think the RNA, we focus very hard on being more global, being more focused on getting the game for everybody. Not just these championships, but we've launched women's championships in Asia Pacific, Latin America, and then this year we had a men's and a women's championship in Africa. And there's no better pleasure if you love the game than seeing the next generation come through and show us how good they are, and they are very, very good. And I think it's been a huge privilege, and I'm very confident that I've got a great successor, been very well selected by the board, And as I said in my press conference in the Open, I was asked, did I have any regrets? My only regret is I wish I was 10 years younger and could do another 10 years. But no, it's been fun, and I think the game is a great place, and we need to just keep pushing forward.
Very quickly, please, because we do have one other question. Yes.
Mr. Hassan, you won in Asia. When are we going to get this event in South Asia, India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka?
I think they're all looking for new venues, and there are lots of considerations I think they take into consideration. There are lots of factors they take into consideration, and I'm sure that they have looked at other options. And one day I'm quite sure that their team that goes and scouts around they're always looking for new venues. They're always looking for exciting venues. They're all looking for historic venues. So, and we have them there, and there is no reason why we can't come to India or Pakistan. We have several courses that are over 120, 30, 40, 50 years, thanks to the British. And they gave us tea this morning. I wanted to go, and I went to the tournament office, and I wanted to have a cup of tea, and they said, we can have coffee. So I said, we got to get some more Brits in here, you know. So we will look at, I'm sure their teams, Matt and Dominique, have looked at other options, and it'll be sooner than later. I think we will have an event there.
Okay, we'll take our final question from Evan, just there, please.
Just another question for Mr. Ridley, if I may. The Augusta National was good enough this year to extend some special invitations to Joaquin Niemann and two other golfers. Just wondering, as we remain as a game in the state that we are in, could you see those invitations being used again going forward until things kind of repair themselves?
Sure. I mean, historically, our special invitations have been reserved for international players, although we are an invitational and we have the prerogative to do otherwise. And as a matter of fact, we did invite, you might remember the amateur Gordon Sargent that we invited a couple of years ago, and that was really kind of a precursor to our inviting, as a matter of course, the NCAA champion. But no, I think I think we all would like to see the game get back together. The fans want to see the best players play together. So it is a less than desirable situation that we have right now. So I would say yes, we're gonna look to find ways to get some of these players in that might not otherwise be qualified, sort of based on their records. In Joaquin's case, he took the initiative to play around the world and did very well, particularly in Australia. And we felt that was something that we should recognize. And of course, we do have a little special affection for Joaquin, having won our Latin American Amateur Championship. But he was a great invitee.
And just finally from me, this tournament and the other tournament that you mentioned that Joaquin won, perhaps its greatest legacy is extending golf into the far corners of the globe. I'm just wondering, after 15 years, is that what you and Mr. Slumbers are maybe most proud of in this tournament?
Well, I'm going to go back a little bit on that, and this predates both Martin and me, and that's to my predecessor, Billy Payne. And Billy, as most of you know, was the person who brought the Olympic Games to Atlanta in 1996, and he had a real world view of sports. And so, it was really, his idea, along with collaborating with the RNA, to start this championship. And so I always hope we'll remember that when we're thinking about what we've been able to accomplish, during Martin's tenure and my tenure. But Billy had a vision for what we could do with our brand at Augusta National, what the RNA could do with its brand, and certainly its expertise. They have far more expertise than we do in how to run championships of this magnitude and in so many disparate places around the world. We have an advantage of being in one place every year. But I think that while it might have been somewhat of an unconventional idea at the time, I think it's proven to really pay a lot of dividends. And I do commend the RNA for taking this one or two or three steps farther in what they're doing in Africa and what they're doing with the women's Asia Pacific. It's just terrific.
Thank you.
Okay, well, we'll draw things to a close there. I'll just thank our panel, and thank you to Emmy for translating, and thanks to media for attending, and we hope you all have a great championship. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.